All right, so starting with the first video, we're going to talk about in-office balance testing. There's certain mechanisms that exist in our body that maintain balance. There are 5 major balancing mechanisms. And I described some of these up on the board. One is oxygen utilization. Sometimes our bodies don't utilize oxygen properly, and we become in an anaerobic state, which is very similar to lactic acid buildup when you overexercise. The other form is being dysaerobic. When you're dysaerobic, that means that your oxygen is not being utilized properly, and it turns into too much free radical accumulation in the body. The other thing is your mineral balance. So think of all of our electrolytes, our minerals, potassium, sodium, magnesium, calcium. Those are the things we want to look at to make sure those are in proper balance. The other one is your pH. pH is whether you're too acidic, too alkaline, or are you properly balanced. It's always about an issue about getting proper balance and not being too extreme in either direction. The second to last is the nervous system. The nervous system can either be under stress, which we call fight or flight, or we say flight or fight, and that would be more the sympathetic or the parasympathetic, resting and relaxing. Our bodies will shift throughout the day through both of those states. For example, if you're up and you're active, you're going to be more in a sympathetic state, and if you're sitting down relaxing and having a meal, you're going to be more in a parasympathetic state. And lastly, how is our body utilizing glucose? I know a lot of people in cancer diets are trying to become ketogenic, but can the body help process those ketones appropriately? And that's where we run into trouble. So trying to get the body in a good balance between proper glucose, or let's say carbohydrate intake, and into proper ketone formation. So it's not unusual during the night we get into somewhat of a ketogenic state because we're not eating during the night, and during the day we should be more in a glucogenic state. But that can be altered the way people affect their diet, and then we want to look to make sure the body is handling that process well. So the other thing we check on is mineral taste testing. We can determine at least 9 minerals just from how your tongue tastes those minerals. So for example, if the mineral tastes very bitter, you probably have enough of that mineral. If it tastes sweet, that means you need more of it. And that's just a functional way of assessing mineral status in the body. The other things that we want to look at are going to include free radical testing, vitamin C. We want to see whether you're making too many oxalates, which can be damaging to the powerhouses of our cells, the mitochondria, and also looking at glutamate, which excess glutamate in the body is damaging to the immune system and also tends to proliferate and sort of support cancer growth in the body. So we want to block these processes if they're abnormal. So this is just one of the things that we do. We'll also do what's called a bioimpedance analysis. It's basically body composition, looking at the energy of our body. Our bodies are holding energy, and you can look at it like a battery. And we want to know how strong your battery is from a cellular perspective, and we will get that information and go over the detail with that and what are the things that we can do to recreate proper balance in the body.